Hi there, I'm Stacy, the encaustic mixed media artist behind Studio Stacy. Encaustic literally means to burn in. So I paint with beeswax and a torch, and because it's mixed media, pretty much anything else I can get my hands on. If you're new around here, welcome. If you're a returning viewer, welcome back. Consider subscribing and joining this artsy community. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up button, which helps me get introduced to more like-minded artsy folks like yourself. Morning all. It is Thursday. I finally made it into the studio this week and it is frigid in here. I don't think the mini split is working properly. Matter of fact, I can hardly hold this camera. My hands are so cold. And of course the tripod is metal. But at any rate, I am thinking we're gonna try to use the propane heater over here. And then it is supposed to warm up this weekend. There's a big block of ice out back by where the unit sits out there, and I think that maybe that's why it's not working, but it's quite cold. So yeah, let's see what happens here. All right, the propane heater is now over here, but you're probably gonna hear some background noise in this video. Hopefully it's not too distracting with the volume of things. But there's not much I can do about it, unfortunately. I could turn it on and off and on and off, but that could just be more of a pain for me than anything. So hopefully this is okay. Man, the month of January, it's been something, y'all. Okay, back to what I was doing in here now. I think what I'm gonna do is clean up this surface. And then what I wanna do, strangely enough, is not use the griddles and the torch today, even though that might help heat the space up. But what I want to do is some more watercolor leaf prints. So that's today's plan. We'll see how far I get on that and if my hands don't freeze off before then. We'll see. All right, all, there might be a change of plans here. It's frigid. I've decided to turn my griddle on to clean it off, and maybe that'll get a little bit more heat in. I don't know if you noticed in that time lapse, but I dropped my torch as my hands are so cold. So luckily it was off and all is fine. I shouldn't laugh about it. Safety first and everything. So, but yeah, it's just freezing in here. So I think I'm gonna get this griddle cleaned off, see if it warms up at all, and maybe just set stuff out today and not actually work on anything because my hands are freezing. All right, griddle is cleaned off, and I think what I'm gonna do is just get this space set up and then come back sometime when it warms up a bit. I think the sun is out today. It's actually really pretty out. It's bitterly cold. It was like 8 degrees or something like that this morning. 6 degrees, I think, but it's slowly climbing, so that's good. So I'm hoping that once it warms up, we can unthaw that mini split and it'll be fine again. Matt and I did realize we need to put some covers over the mini splits, because especially over here, the snow really drifts up behind it. I'll try to walk you back out there and show you a couple shots of it. But the snow really drifts up back there, and I think that's hopefully why it's not producing heat, because it draws the air from the outside in, and I'm not sure exactly all the mechanics of a mini split, and you probably all don't care about it, but at any rate, it draws the air in, heats it up somehow, and when it's just frigid out, it can't keep up, and we know that, but it's never not completely not worked. So at any rate, I'm gonna get this set up back behind me for next week so that I'm ready to go. And then I'm hoping, next week's a crazy week. I have eye doctor's appointment, like with a specialist, to figure out what the heck is going on with my eye and autoimmune. So hopefully that goes well, but I don't know what that all is going to entail and what it's going to look like afterwards. So I was hoping to get this done before that, but I don't know. Anyways, you just gotta roll with the punches, right? So we are rolling with it. I'm gonna get this set up, and yeah, we'll go from there. For you guys, it'll be just a few moments when I pick you back up, but yeah, see what happens. All right, table is set up. I just put white paper down to protect the surface. And I got out the other papers that I'm going to mess around with. The rust water here, just sitting in this jar. And yeah, I think I'm gonna call it in the studio today. And like I said earlier, I will pick you up next week for you. It'll just be a few moments. Good morning all in the studio, and good news. We have heat. The mini split has been defrosted from outside, so the heat is pumping. It's actually supposed to be warming up quite a bit today. A lot of the snow is melting, sadly, but the good news is the temperatures are rising, so it's warm in the studio. So I'm going to get back to these rice papers. So I'll flip the camera around and show you what I've got going on here. But I got out some of the sycamore leaves that I had preserved over, I think it was around the fall-ish time. So I've got some of those out that I'm going to be making some leaf prints with. Now, I know you all have seen me do this in the past using watercolor and clear gesso. This time I wanted to try just watercolor and see if I couldn't get that to embed into the encaustic, once of course these are all dry, without the watercolor paint smearing or without the leaf prints smearing. Hopefully this will make sense as I get going here, but let me flip the camera on and show you the supplies. All right, I have 2 stacks of the rice paper because I'm going to try 2 different leaf printing techniques, and I've went and labeled each of these rice papers with what they are so that I know once I have the leaf prints on them what the paper is. So if I want to order more of this paper, if it works out really well on one over the other, then I know that. Of course, the sycamore leaves, and some of them do have some leftover watercolor paint on them from a previous studio session. I have a flat brush, a couple brayers, and 2 different colors of watercolor paint. And then I have this just lid tin that I'm going to use to put the watercolor paint on, and a spray bottle and some painter's tape. I might tape these pages down depending on how much they kind of crinkle up. All right, a couple quick thoughts on these particular leaf prints. And that is that if you want more of a crisp, clean image, less water is better, like with this one, or don't take and put a piece of paper over it and smush it, because I think that smushes the watercolor, obviously, into the paper more. However, if you want more of a blotchy image like this, more water, and definitely put the piece of paper over and smush it in. Obviously, this gives you a totally different effect and a lot more color on this one than this particular one. But and yeah, I think they all came out wonderfully. I don't think any of the papers reacted better than another paper. So oh, and I also, backing up here without making you dizzy, I really like how this print came out on just the scrap paper underneath. So I think going forward in the future, I would also put a raised paper underneath and kind of get the print underneath it as well. These other ones aren't as crisp and clean because I added more and more water in this area as I was watering the paper down. But I think it's definitely would be worth putting a piece of one of these erase papers underneath and getting, you know, twice the amount of prints out of it. All right, for this last experiment, I'm going to use both of the colors of watercolor, and I'm going to saturate this paper a lot. So we'll see how this goes. I also need to let these leaves dry on the watercolor paper, these leaves. So, and I only have 4 of these leaves. So I'm basically going to only do this experiment on 4 of the papers. I'm not going to do it on the unsized one. I think that's how you say it. Just because I don't have enough leaves. So, and each paper is only going to get 1 leaf. So we'll see how it goes. I need to let these dry completely. I don't know if I'll come back over here slightly later this afternoon and try to peel these leaves off, or if it'll be tomorrow or when it'll be, but I will pick you up when I do that. But for now, I'm going to step away, let them dry so I'm not tempted to take a peek and lift the leaves up. So yeah, I'll pick you up in a few. All right, I made it back over here. These are now dry, so I'm just gonna lift these leaves off and yeah, we'll see what we have. We're gonna both be surprised at the same time here. So fingers crossed it worked out. If not, fun experiment. All right, I'm gonna try to keep you in focus while I lift them off. So here goes leaf number 1. Well, there's a leaf thing there, but not much veining on the leaf itself. I can lift this paper up off of here. Yeah, not much at all. So, I don't know. Worked out so-so on that one. Let's pan, oh, let's see, pan up to this one, see what this one looks like. Making sure it's dry, definitely feels dry. Lifting it off. Same type of thing, I would say. Whoops, sorry. Maybe a little bit more. I think the leaves maybe weren't pressed in enough. So I don't know if next time if I put something over top and the leaves are still slightly damp, but the papers are dry, so. All right, next one. Yeah, same concept. A little bit there, but not much. So I must have done something wrong here. I don't know. Last one. And yeah, again, a little bit on this one, but not much. I mean, they're not bad. They're you know, kind of fun, cool looking, but not exactly the effect I was going for. I did an entire talking to the camera here and forgot to press the record button, but I wanted to show you, this was the mixed media paper that one of these was on, and it's kind of cool looking itself. So again, I think, you know, interesting patterning here. It's just plain old mixed media paper and too heavy to embed into encaustic, but I could always glue it down and put encaustic over it. So, and also this underneath is just really cool. So I think it would be fun to, yeah, do like, I don't know what you want to call those, second prints or whatever, just putting paper underneath all of these prints next time that I could also use. This mixed media paper here doesn't really have anything on it, not as exciting, but yeah, fun little experiment here. All right, and on that note, I'm gonna let you go here for now. I don't know if I'm gonna start editing this video, see how long it is. I have no idea kind of where I'm at as far as the length of this video. And I might pick you back up for this video when I start to experiment with the encaustic medium encaustic paint with these, or that might be for next video. You're gonna know in just a few short seconds what I have decided. Hi all, I did start to edit this video, and I think what I'm gonna do today in the studio is just get this mess cleaned up, and then I'll probably pick you back up in the next video and do a comparison of applying the encaustic, I almost said gesso, the encaustic medium to these watercolor prints, and then a comparison of these prints compared to the ones that I used with the clear encaustic, or rather clear gesso. Man, words today. Anyways, so what I'm gonna do is just get this studio cleaned up here real quick like, and yeah, we'll go from there. I wanted to show you two quick things before I let you go. First, these leaves that I've preserved, and I've used most of these twice already. Some of them I think even maybe 4 times, but they're getting a little brittle. As you can see here, this piece is kind of breaking off. But for the most part, they're staying pretty good as far as reusing them. And I think you might have seen, I did wipe them off with a baby wipes just to get some of the watercolor off. And I'm going to put them in this book for a couple days or so till I get back into the studio, just to kind of flatten them out a little bit more. So I just wanted to mention that preserving them in that glycerin definitely is working out, and you can reuse them a couple times. At least I was able to. And I'm hoping to be able to reuse them at least once more. The other thing I wanted to mention was about these prints. And these are also a little wrinkly. You can see they're not completely laying flat. But they've dried for the most part quite nicely. pretty much as I expected them to dry. And so what I'm gonna do again with these is I'm just gonna stick them underneath that heavy book just to try to flatten them out a bit. Although I'm not sure that that's gonna matter much when I put the encaustic on it, but I figured I got the book out, might as well. All right, got the space all set back up for encaustic painting. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed coming along on this video, and I hope it wasn't too repetitive from previous watercolor leaf printing videos. It's just my process, and I may do 55 more of these leaf printing experiments. I think I'm narrowing it down. That's the good news. So really, if you don't mind sticking through me on this, or with me, if you don't mind sticking with me on this, that's what I want to say, I would really appreciate it. Just all part of the art process, but I'm getting closer to actually getting ready to use these in a painting as I keep experimenting. So again, hopefully it's enjoyable for you. If it is, please give it a thumbs up. Truly, truly do appreciate it. If you're not subscribed, consider subscribing. If you have any questions about the process or just want to reach out and say hi, let me know what you're working on. Let me know down there below in the comments, and we'll see you on the next one. Bye for now.